It is 6 a.m. and breaking right now on Denver 7 News.
We're the first country in the world to have a clinically authorized vaccine to roll out.
A landmark step in the fight against the coronavirus. The UK gives approval to distribute vaccines as early as next week.
Here at home, health experts say we're not far behind.
We can crush this outbreak, just the way we did with smallpox, with polio, and with measles.
I'm Denver 7's Nicole Brady. The window opens today for Colorado to order its initial shipment of Pfizer's vaccine. I'll walk you through the timeline and when Coloradans could be getting their first shots.
Plus, a new concern for doctors heading into winter.
It's not just pandemic COVID-19 that can kill you.
Fewer kids are visiting the doctor during the pandemic, and that could help spread even more disease.
We put these diseases aside because we assume they're gone. They're not gone.
And so a reality check, despite the excitement that we are so close to a coronavirus vaccine. Good Wednesday morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Molly Hendrickson. You'll want to grab the heavy coat before you head out the door today. Meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo joins us from her home weather center. And Lisa, we are barely breaking the 20s this morning.
Yeah, it is chilly out there, and it feels like single digits. We did get some clearing skies, though, after quite a bit of cloud cover, a cold, blustery day yesterday. You're going to find some sunshine, in fact, here along the I-25 corridor and across a good portion of the state. Still some lingering snow to the south and on the far eastern plains early this morning. The winds will continue, though, out of the north, and it's going to make some of the teens and 20s that we're seeing this morning feel more like single digits. So you're right, bundle up, and we're really not going to see much of a warm-up today. Highs will likely be at around 28 to near 32 degrees. So right around, if not just a few degrees below freezing, and it's going to feel even colder with those winds continuing. Now, we do have clear skies now, but we're going to see a few more light snow showers later today, increasing clouds and the chance for a few more flurries. We'll take a closer look at that and then just how much warmer it gets for the weekend, Jason, coming up.
Unfortunately, we have a new crash over on the west side of town, and it's causing some delays now on Sheridan, just south of 6th Avenue. It's going to be right there. It was called out originally at 5th Avenue. Also hearing reports it's near 4th Avenue. From one of the CDOT cameras just a moment ago, I've been watching a lot of the first responders heading through that way, and so there's a lot of fire trucks and a lot of police cars heading that way right now, because they're saying there's some significant, there goes one of them heading over there to that crash. So we are going to have the restrictions again on Sheridan, just south of 6th Avenue. No travel time delays on 6th Avenue, which is good news. It's going to be all off the highway. The rest of the drive looks great. Anywhere you want to go on the north side, south side, I-70, it's all basically wide open anywhere you want to travel here this morning with basically dry roads. Outside of Metro Denver to the east and the south, it's a different story. We'll take a look at that coming up.
Thanks, Jason. We are following breaking news overnight in the fight to stop the coronavirus. The British government approved the emergency use of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. It's the first to do so in the world. British media reports hospitals in England have been told to get ready to start vaccinations for medical workers next week. Pfizer says it will begin shipping limited supplies to the UK and is gearing up for possible U.S. approval as early as next week.
And our state leaders are preparing for the FDA to grant emergency authorization to Pfizer next Thursday. And as early as today, the window opens for Colorado to request a shipment of Pfizer's vaccine. Denver 7's Nicole Brady joins us live from the Department of Public Health this morning with a look at what that process involves and where it goes from here. Nicole?
Yeah, history in the making, really, Brian, starting today. Today is the first day that Colorado can start submitting its order for the initial shipment of Pfizer's vaccine. And then the window is short. The state only has till Friday to complete that order. From there, as you said, the FDA is set to meet on December 10th. And our own state health department expects that the FDA will decide on Pfizer's emergency use authorization request between December 11th and December 14th. Within just 24 hours of that decision, Operation Warp Speed plans to ship Colorado's first allocation of the vaccine to sites here. Last week, Colorado completed a vaccine readiness test and was able to practice all the steps of getting a vaccine shipment to a provider. Now, as for who will get the vaccine first, this was the topic of our 360 conversation all yesterday morning. And last night, we got the answer from the CDC. A panel with the CDC voted to give healthcare workers and nursing home residents the vaccine first. There should be enough vaccine shipped this month month to cover all of those people. That's just over 20 million Americans. And in a news conference with our own Governor Polis yesterday, Dr. Anthony Fauci predicted that by April, most of the general population could be vaccinated. Other experts have said May or early June, but either way, really an unprecedented achievement.
Interesting, Nicole. In that press conference with Governor Polis yesterday, Dr. Fauci said instead of a national distribution plan, it will be up to states to decide how it's distributed.
That's right, Brian. The CDC can make those recommendations, but Dr. Fauci said specifically it will be up to the states.
These are recommendations that will be made to the states. The final decision of how you tweak it, you can either do it exactly as they say, tweak it a little, tweak it a lot, or say, you know, for our state, it's a bit different. We want to do it this way.
And as we talked about yesterday, Colorado's plan does look a little bit different than the CDC's plan. For example, Colorado has first responders and even corrections officers prioritized in the Group A, even ahead of nursing home residents. And then in Group B, in the second round, Colorado has workers who live in congregate housing, including ski industry workers, getting the vaccine even ahead of some people with serious conditions. So really interesting, the unique things in every state. Skiing obviously unique to Colorado, but of course we are still waiting to see exactly how Colorado and the other states will roll out their vaccines. Brian and Molly, back to you.
You can check out our 360 report on who should receive the vaccine first online right now. Thanks, Nicole.
This morning, things are again running smoothly out at DIA after an air traffic control employee tested positive for the coronavirus, forcing a complete ground stop. FAA employees were moved so their workspace could be deep cleaned. Another cleaning is planned for tonight. The groundings only lasted a few minutes, but planes were staggered, causing delays for hundreds of flights and passengers. So far, 4 air traffic employees have tested for COVID-19 in the same facility.
The CDC has updated its guidance on how long you should quarantine if you have been exposed to COVID-19. Instead of a 2-week quarantine period, the new guidelines say anyone who comes into close contact with an infected person should quarantine between 7 and 10 days. You can end your quarantine if you test negative after the 1-week period or after 10 days if you don't get a test and are showing no symptoms. CDC leaders say it's a result of new data. Remember, close guidance means multiple brief exposures for a total of 15 minutes at a close distance from an infected person. Colorado has remained consistent in the number of new COVID-19 cases we're adding daily. Another 4,400 cases were reported yesterday, and sadly another 39 people died from it. Nearly 2,000 people are currently in the hospital, and that set yet another record since the pandemic began. Nearly 90% of ICU beds are occupied.
Today, the city of Aurora will lay out a plan to better welcome immigrants into the city. The city is looking at the next 10 to 20 years to better integrate the community. Denver7's Micah Smith joins us live from Aurora this morning. And Micah, Aurora is one of the most diverse large cities in the country.
Molly, Aurora has 340,000 residents, and 1 in 5 was born in another country. This plan, the Immigration Integration Plan, is an extension of a plan that was launched in 2015. The goal of this plan is to get more immigrants involved in the civic process, to secure citizenship for immigrants, offer small business training, and to reach out to communities through sports and recreation. The new Aurora Welcome Center that was created for immigrants and refugees will also be a key part of the new plan. Recently, Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman wrote about the plan in an op-ed where he addressed the importance of immigrant integration. Kaufman says, as a Republican, he wants to charter a new course for his party by breaking the party's, quote, anti-immigrant stigma. Kaufman cited a recent decision by a federal court upholding a White House order requiring 400,000 immigrants who settled in this country legally to leave. Kaufman says, for example, this is terrifying for the nearly 3,000 Salvadorans who came to Aurora after a devastating earthquake in 2001. Kaufman says he wants to empower Salvadorans and others to get active in the community and to also let them know how important they are to the community. And other city leaders say they feel the same, and they think with this new immigration integration plan within the next few years, we'll see even more immigrants in leadership positions here in Aurora. Reporting live, Micah Smith, Denver7.
All right, thank you, Micah. These orange bags full of groceries aren't your ordinary orders. They were a surprise to shoppers yesterday. When the groceries were delivered to their cars, they learned First Bank had paid for them.
I got some good news for you today. How are you doing? And what is your name? Well, Miss Halter, your total is 0 today.
It is the season of giving. First Bank then asked the shoppers to pay it forward and donate their grocery money to their favorite nonprofits on Colorado Gives Day next week. And you can do that too. Just log on to coloradogivesday.org to pick from more than 2,900 Colorado charities. Denver7 is a proud sponsor of Colorado Gives Day. When you schedule your donations for next Tuesday, December 8th, the charities you donate to will also get a boost from the Colorado Gives Day Incentive Fund.